Hi, everybody. It's a little windy, so I hope you guys can hear me. It's been a while since I've been here, and today I happen to have really good service out here in the Yucatan jungle. So hopefully I didn't just jinx it. So I was doing the dishes actually, and I just through some conversations I had these thoughts, and I wanted to share a message that maybe a lot of people have never considered, or you have, and maybe this is a good reminder. We all need some reminders. Um, Procrastination has a bad rep. Um, I know that many of us grew up with not the most supportive households, mainly because I'm sure most of our parents were wounded, just like their parents were wounded, and it was, passing down the buck of not being very compassionate with children. But I'm sure many of us were called lazy as kids. Maybe as teenagers we needed more sleep, our bodies were growing. So when we weren't acting as we were expected to, my headphones are acting up. Many of us were called lazy or something of the sort. Or if you can relate to this, I always used to say to myself that I am an excellent procrastinator because I'm very good under pressure, which I am. It's not untrue. But it was very self-judging, like as if procrastinating is so bad, but then like kind of victimish. I would really be very diligent in the last little bit and get what I needed done. And it was riddled with anxiety, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. So what I really want to kind of touch on is the fact that we're merging with our subconscious, like our consciousness is merging with our subconscious. We're merging as we remove old paradigms with our higher self. We are also merging with our innate, which is like our smart body, basically. Our body is the most technologically advanced machine, if you will, living, breathing machine that has ever been, at least on our reality. So it's a smart body. It's like AI. We are the ultimate AI. So very often our body is telling us certain things, and we were not programmed or taught or encouraged to listen to our bodies. So a really good example of that is kids and their eating. Very often parents would be like, no, you need to eat this, or you need to finish your plate, for whatever reasons. I know growing up, sometimes it was a matter of money. We didn't have the money, so you didn't want to waste food. Sometimes it was just a matter of, my mom's favorite foods were foods I had to eat, but I hated them. But you're considered bad as a child because you're not finishing your meal. It's not bad. There is no bad or good. Our body is responding for a specific reason. So I'm raising my kids, and this wasn't easy. It didn't happen overnight, but we're at a point now where if my kids are full, they're full. I don't even have a fridge to like have leftovers, but I have to respect that they're listening to their bodies. I have to respect that they know how they feel. Who am I to question it? So it's the same thing with procrastination. I think our bodies, I know this is definitely my belief system. You don't have to agree. You can always take what resonates and leave the rest. But procrastination is very similar to that, in my opinion. Our body's telling us we don't need to do something, or we don't want to do it, or it's not the right time. Very often, very similar to like depression and feeling low. It's our environment. Maybe the procrastination is happening because it's something that shouldn't be done in the first place. Maybe it's happening because we're in an environment where whatever the task is wouldn't be at its optimal level. Whatever the thing is, what I want to emphasize today as a reminder, or maybe something new that you've never considered, is to really reflect on your procrastination from a very non-judgmental state, because we're so used to being rude to ourselves, being mean to ourselves. Like, oh, I'm such a procrastinator. I didn't get this done. Oh, the dishes didn't get done before I went to bed, or the beds didn't get made, or I don't know, honestly, even a report at work didn't get done, or even a project at school, because yes, we will get in trouble if the expectations of someone else isn't met, but we're headed out of that reality. We're headed into a reality where we are sovereign beings of our own everyday living. So the expectations from someone else is slowly or quickly, for some of us, going to dissipate. The future is going more, I use this term loosely, entrepreneurial. We're not going to be, working slaves in the future the way we were before, your 9 to 5 clock in, shift work, whatever. So we're going to be in a reality as a collective where we do get the choice, but the programs are going to be in us. So it has to start with us. We have to be the ones that are able to sit there and self-reflect, especially if you're feeling bad about some sort of procrastination. Why do I feel bad? What was expected of me? What happens if I don't do it? Why didn't I want to do it? All these different questions that you can really interrogate yourself, but not with like a heavy hand. I wouldn't be like, oh, I should have done this. Well, how come I didn't? It's more like pretend you're a third party, a completely unbiased third party. And for me, it works. You can call yourself by your name. I don't personally prefer that. That's why I use my term, my human. So that's like my higher self asking my human, why didn't you want to do this? What did you want to do instead? There's a good question. Rather than why did you? What did you want to do? Or very often is interrogating the fear aspect. So what am I afraid of? Am I afraid I'm going to get in trouble? And then start interrogating that. Like, am I really going to get in trouble? Is this just a belief system? Is the other person really going to get upset? Like, again, obviously, every situation is a little bit different. But as a whole, procrastination really has a bad rep. I think it takes away from us listening to ourselves and accepting ourselves. So very often too, procrastination or laziness, it's because we're tired. And I don't mean physically tired, I mean spiritually tired. When many of us that have already kind of started the expansion process or the ascension process, I don't prefer that word, I'm sure many of you can relate. I know for me, I went through my isolation period, I guess my incubation period, you might want to call it, where I was home a lot. Like I would drop off my daughter to school and I would come home and I would sleep. I would rest. I would go for like just leisurely walks with nothing to do. I would leave my dishes if I needed to. I would never make my bed because back then I thought that I was supposed to. And I went through periods where I would feel bad and as if like I was a child and my mom was going to yell at me, which was the programming I had. But then I realized that what am I doing if not programming my child and continuing the process of feeling bad when I didn't do something? Even at work, I remember when I was still very asleep, I was managing different locations and I was all about respect. Like if somebody tells me to do something right now, nobody wants to be told what to do per se. So I remember with my work, when we needed to get stuff done, it was a very we thing. I'd be like, okay, why don't you do this? I'll do this part. You can do that part, There was times when some people just don't want to do it. People have their own lives. They have stuff on their minds. And maybe they just had a fight with someone or maybe they're not feeling well. So sometimes I'd be like, no, I don't feel like doing this right now. I'd be like, cool. Do you think you can do it by the end of the day? And that's not procrastination. All of a sudden we changed it to, what's the word I'm looking for? Compromise. We changed it to compromise. So instead of making that person feel bad, or you still haven't done it, what are you waiting for? You're still procrastinating. It's okay. You need to do something else right now. I understand. I had this one employee that would need to eat to get his energy. He would get very hangry, right? Hungry, angry. So before I give him a task, I'd be like, listen, I really like you to do this and this and this by the end of the day. Let's break it up. Do you want to go for lunch first before and just let it sink in? Like he didn't want to do stuff right away when he was told it. Almost like he needed it to absorb in his mind and then go and do the task. So everybody works different. That's another thing too. So really interrogating your procrastination, interrogating your sense of guilt, because that's really what procrastination brings on, could unlock so many programs that you probably didn't even know you had. So that's what I really wanted to emphasize today. I think I got my point across. Hi, I see a couple of you on there. My screen is like tilted, so I can't see if any of you are commenting or anything. But yeah, it's like I said, it's been a while. I am in an off-grid home in the Yucatan jungle, so our service has been, but it's good. The universe needed me to take a break. But we'll be moving again soon, and back into the city for a little bit. And I have lots of notes, things I want to share, so I hope to get on here a little bit more. Feel free, as always, to message me. We can always have just one-on-one discussions, offer ideas of things that maybe you'd like for me to share my thoughts on. Anything. So yeah, I send you guys lots of love. There's tons of things happening right now. I'm not going to get into everything, but I think the key factor is self-reflection for anything, because self-reflecting your procrastination is just as powerful as self-reflecting our triggers. You know, self-reflecting our jealousy, self-reflecting our judgments, and all of that. Any sort of self-reflection will really help expand your level of consciousness, because what you're doing is you're basically standing up to the programs that were fed into you from, birth. And that's a big step. That's a big step in the state of consciousness, to be able to sit there in your head and be like, hold on a second. Why do I feel this way? Was I programmed to feel bad about this? Do I really feel bad about this? What's the worst that could happen? So all these things, all those little steps that we take into really thinking for ourselves and questioning things, open up so many levels of understanding by just simply not addressing it from a judgmental kind of human perspective. Really be the observer of your thought. And that's why, for me, talking to my human as a third person helps me kind of clear that up. Now I'm just kind of used to it, but that's how I started doing it in the beginning. So anyways, I hope that helps. I will let you guys go. I'll give you a little peripheral view of this is the house that we're staying in. This is an extension. They haven't finished yet. Yeah, it's all jungle. There's a couple hammocks. Oh, some parked cars from the owners. Yeah, so anyway, sending you guys love from the Yucatan, and we will chat soon. Bye.